Let me introduce myself. So my name is Ivan Dautriche, and I am working as a finance controller at ALIPH. And I have been working with ALIPH for a few years now, and I will be leading today's training. I'm joined by my colleague Marion Madoun, who is also a finance controller at ALIPH, and she
Yep.
will monitor your questions in the chat, and we will try to keep some time at the end for a short Q&A session. So we expect this session to last around 1 to 1.5 hours. Before we begin, let me start by sharing a few practical points. So you have the possibility to submit your question through the Q&A tab only. We will try to address them as we go whenever possible. So some questions may receive a written answer directly in the chat, and if time allows, we will try to come back to the most relevant questions at the end of the session. However, we will not be able to answer any specific project question related during the webinar. For those matters, please contact your focal point at ALIPH, who can then follow up with us if needed. The aim of this session is to remain at a general level and cover all the main and principal related to budgeting, financial reporting, expenditure verification, and audit. This webinar will be recorded, and the recording will be shared with all the registered participants. So you can also, of course, be able to share it with colleagues who couldn't attend to that webinar. So, to start, today we will try to cover and focus on four main topics. First of all, budgeting, including some key reminders and a specific focus on what we call budget amendments. We will also talk about financial reporting and the main requirements that are attached to it. Third, we will go through some discussions regarding expenditure eligibility, supporting documents, expenditure verification, and audit. And at the end, we will close the sessions with some questions and answer based on the questions that you might ask in the chat. So first of all, budgeting, and I would like to start with an reminder which is important to me in order to try to make this session interesting, not for finance people only, but to all the teams that are usually involved in the project management, including program, logistic, communication teams. Um, Based on my previous experiences and when I was a finance coordinator in the field, or later on when I was managing finance coordinator, I was always trying to make all the staff understand that a budget is not only a financial document, it's not a tool which is created by finance people for finance people, but it is first and foremost, from my perspective at least, a real project management tool. A tool which allows staff, project manager, and all people involved in project management to ensure a proper project follow-up based, of course, on a financial point of view. It means that all the questions related to budget monitoring should involve, of course, finance team, but not only program teams, once again, a project manager, logisticians, and more broadly, everyone which is contributing to project implementation. So I hope that amongst today's participants, we don't have only finance people, but also program staff, operational team, and maybe also communication or logistics. Why it is so important? Because a well-prepared budget allows you to understand a project very quickly. A budget, when it's well set up, it shows which activities will be implemented, which resources will be mobilized, and how financial resource will be allocated in order to reach the main objectives of the project. So, uh, in other words, what we can say is that a good budget, when it is well done, it already tells a large part of the project history, and it should allows everyone to a very quick understanding what is the project about, only by reading the detailed budget. Something also very important from my perspective and also based on my previous experiences, uh, I like to say that when comes the time of a budget preparation or a budget follow-up, uh, those moments are, can be seen as a real coordination moment. In many organizations, those moments are sometimes the only moment where program team, logistic teams, finance teams sit together and share information. And that's why I often say that a budget and even more a budget monitoring is also a real communication and coordination tool between departments that allows the different teams to sit together and to share information in order to update the most accurately possible financial monitoring tool. So it's also a good opportunity to ensure a good communication between the different teams within the project management. This being said, we can move a little bit to some more technical reminders. At ALIPH, the budget is a contractual document. It is an annex to the grant agreement. And once the grant agreement is signed, the budget cannot be changed freely. Any modification or budget amendment requires ALIPH prior and formal approval, which means that the contractual budget must not be changed without ALIPH validation. And any requests for budget realignment or budget amendments must be made using a dedicated tool, which we will look at in a moment. Um, so, ALIPH has developed an integrated and automated tool. This tool includes what we call the financial and reporting tool. That tool, it includes the initial budget, a transaction list, some reporting spreadsheets, a summary tab, and other tables designed to present financial information in a very clear way. In principle, there are some macros and formulas that update several tabs automatically based on the data which is entered in the budget tab or in the transaction list. When we validate a budget here at ALIPH, Marion and I, we always check that all the formulas and macro they work properly, and the final version that we send back to you should therefore be clean and operational. However, it remains, of course, your responsibility to check and to ensure on a regularly basis that all the information that are shown in the different tabs of the tool are matching both the initial budget and the expenditures that are actually recorded. If you identify technical issues, please flag this to your project manager so we can have a look at it and review it together and try to fix any issue or technical issues that you may fix that you may face. Sorry. Before going into detail, so the initial budget is linked to all the detailed financial interim reporting tables. It is also linked to the summary tab, which is a tab that we will check in detail later, but which provides an overview of the budget and the level of spending by the main budget category. This is a tab which is especially useful for colleagues who do not need to look at the very single budget line, but who want, let's say, kind of quick overview of the project financial situation, contractual amount, level of spending, remaining balance, and everything. The reporting tabs are themselves fed from the transaction lists. When the list is properly completed, the reporting sheets are supposed to automatically be updated. Once again, it is your responsibility to make sure that all the formulas are working correctly and all the data is properly reflected. Okay, so that's an overview of the tool in general. You also find a first tab which is called instructions. I strongly encourage you to use it as a first point of reference. We have gathered there all the practical guidance that are needed to complete the different tabs, budget, payment requests, summary, transaction list, progress reports. And in many cases, this tab would hopefully answer the first questions that you may have. And of course, if some other questions comes, you can, of course, contact your project manager, who can escalate the questions to us, and we can get in touch and try to fix those issues. I don't want to spend too much time on the initial budget tab since you all have already worked on it during your budget preparation validation. I would, however, and let me move emphasis quickly to the summary sheet. So yes, as I said, this tab gives you an overview by budget category. It presents the contractual budget on the left, then all the expenditures reported based on the information from the financial reporting tabs. a cumulative amount, and also the remaining amount, the remaining balance. Uh, this is an excellent management tool for example, project director uh, or staff who just need, a quick understanding on the project financial status. While if you need more detail, of course, you can refer first of all to the transaction list, which is the consolidated data that feed all the other tools, and also, of course, all the interim reports that are consolidating those data from the transaction lists by reporting period and by budget line. While this summary sheet provides, let's say, a simplified overview. This structure in general should allow each person to access the level of detail which is relevant for them, from the very detailed one based on the transaction list to a very simplified overview which is given from that summary sheet. Okay. I I will make a focus on something important and which is related to budget amendment. As a reminder, even of course when the budget is carefully prepared and planned from the very beginning of the project, we all know that the projects that you are implementing in the field, they evolve in a very complex, a very unstable, and sometimes a very unpredictable environment. And it may therefore become necessary during the project implementation to modify the initial budget in order to achieve the project objectives. So budget modifications, they can take different forms. It may simply be what we call a budget realignment, which means a redistribution of the resources between the different budget lines or budget categories. It may also take the form of a no-cost extension or also a cost accession when additional budget is requested. In all those cases, the logic remains the same, and all those changes must be anticipated. They must be justified, and of course, they need to be discussed with the project managers, and they only become effective once they have been formally approved by ALIPH. We created a specific tab to work on those budget realignment and budget amendment requests. By default, this tab is hidden. To display it, you need to go to the far right of the budget tab. And in column AG, there is a small plus sign that you need to click on in order to unhide that table. So here is the table. On the left, you will find the initial budget, and on the right, you have that hidden block that you will use to prepare the amendment request. So if you want to modify an existing budget line, you can update in that right hand block. As you did initially, you update all the unit cost, or the number of units, or the allocation percentage in order to create a new total amount. If you need to add a new budget line, you can use the existing macro system to create a new line by clicking, and it doesn't show here, but there is also a small plus here. And when you click on the macro create a new budget line. And then you can complete the detail of that new expenditure in that block on the right. This table automatically calculates the difference between the initial budget and the newly requested budget, as well as the percentage variation. There is also a column that you will use to provide a justification for any increase, reduction, or addition of a new budget line. And that table will be the basis on which the discussion with ALIPH will take place in order to validate the budget realignment request. When so yes, when the budget amendment request is approved by ALIPH, there will be one more step to complete, and you will need to copy all the approved figures from that block into the block on the left. In order, yes, in order to update all the other tabs, report sheet, summary sheets, to reflect the new approved budget in those tables. As a reminder, all the other tabs are linked through formulas, but the link is based on the approved budget, which is on the left of the table. So when the budget amendment is approved by ALIPH, you will need to update the initial budget, and that new budget becomes the new approved one. It replaces the previous one, and of course, if later on during the project another budget amendment becomes necessary, the exact same process must be followed. Before moving, yes, quick reminder that we will discuss also a bit later. Based on the grant agreement, any budget overspending above 10% per category must be formally approved by ALIPH. Below that threshold, some flexibility exists, but above this amount, you will need at least a formal approval by ALIPH, and sometime we will ask to amend and to formally realign the budget. So this is it on financial reporting. Once again, if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask them through the Q&A table. My colleague can reply already, and we'll pick some questions at the end if we have enough time, and we can discuss them. Moving to financial reports. So we will discuss few key informations. We will review the specific spreadsheet for progress report. We will discuss also about reforecasting, transaction lists, and payment requests. Uh, as a global reminder, the financial reporting is part of the broader project management cycle. The reporting conditions for both narrative and financial, they are defined in the grant agreement, especially in the Article 2.3, where the number of reports, the reporting period, and the submission deadlines are all specified. And we ask, of course, the grantees to always refer to that document uh, for information related to the reporting. So we have developed a specific reporting format, and this format, this template, must be used. We do not allow our partners to report in a different template. In case of technical issue, in case of technical questions, your first focal point remains the project manager, and all the questions that you may have can be then escalated to Marion and I if needed. This tool is relatively recent. From the first feedback that we received, it works well, but like any tool, it may occasionally involve some bugs, some points of confusion. So please feel free to share any feedback that you may have, any questions, any bug that you can face. All those information they remains super valuable for us, and it helps us a lot to improve the tool. Um, So, on a parlé. A very important point, the financial reports, they must strictly follow the structure of the original budget. Without an approved amendment, you cannot introduce a new budget line that was not part of the initial budget. Um, Without, once again, a formal approval by ALIPH. The progress reports, they are automatically populated from the transaction list tab that we will discuss later through formulas, but it remains your responsibility to ensure that all the amounts that are recorded in the transaction lists, they are correctly reported within the progress report spreadsheet. Overhead costs, they are automatically calculated based on the percentage of the direct cost that are reported. So there is no need for you to enter those indirect costs in the transaction list. And you do not need to provide any supporting documents for those indirect costs. And last point, a general point, each financial report, once it is validated by ALIPH, must be signed by the organization's legal representative, signed and submitted to ALIPH in a PDF template, a PDF format. So if we go a little bit and look at the logical of the financial reporting tab, so all those financial reports, they are structured in three different blocks. The first block on the left is the contractual budget, where every budget line codes, budget line descriptions, and approved amounts are included and based on the approved budget. The second block, which is in the middle, is the expenditure block. The figures from here, they are populated automatically from the transaction list. For the figures to populate correctly, there are two pieces of information that are essential. First, in that report tab, there is that small table on the top where you need to indicate the interim progress report number the sheet refers to. This will allow the formulas to work correctly and to report, for example, in that table for progress report number 2, all the expenditures that are recorded in the transaction lists within the progress report number 2. Secondly, in the transaction list, and we'll go back to that table later, all the expenditures must, of course, be linked to the correct report number in order to correctly report in the good sheet, and also to the correct budget line. And this is the combination of those two elements that allows the formula to place the expenditures in the right location. In that expenditure block, you will find a first column that we call actual expenses for the current period. And those expenditures that column reports the expenditures that are incurred during the current reporting period, which means that, for example, here for progress report number 2, in this column, only the expenditures related to report number 2 will be reported. Then you have the other column, actual expenses from the previous reports, and this is where all the expenditures, all the cumulative expenditures from the previous reports are reported. This makes possible to distinguish what is currently reported now from what has already been reported before. And we can also make, first of all, the focus on the specific expenditures for the current period, and also see what was reported before. And of course, to have like the global overview of the level of spending. There is that additional column that sum up both previous columns in order to provide the total expenditures to date. Third block on that tool, which is related to the forecasts. Um, I will go back a bit. We'll go into detail a bit later, but very quickly, this block is also super important um, because the initial budget provides the contractual view. The reported expenditure block, it provides what we can call the historic view. But in order to manage properly a project, you also need, of course, to anticipate what remains to be spent until the end of the project to ensure that the overall budget is fully spent, that the flexibility rules are respected, and at least to ensure a proper monitoring, you also need to anticipate the future. And this is why we ask you by the time of the interim report to complete also the forecasts and to do that as realistically as possible. Those forecasts, we don't ask you to fill it on a purely theoretical way. The objective is not, for example, to mechanically spread the remaining balance in order to artificially reach 100% of consumption uh, by budget line and by the end of the projects. But instead, forecasts, they should rely uh, as much as possible on the actual remaining activities, the known and the anticipated operational needs, and the informations available at the time. So these forecasts, yes, they are, as I was saying, they are very important for the monitoring, the financial monitoring of the project. They allow you to monitor the budget. It allows you to anticipate underspending or overspending. Uh, it allow you to anticipate and prepare in time for possible budget realignment requests, to anticipate no cost extension, and there are therefore those forecasting and reforecasting aspects, both a financial management tool and a program management tool. And as I was explaining in the very beginning, um, to have those informations accurate, it will require a communication between the different teams in the project because the information is spread between program team who knows exactly, okay, what are the remaining activities that needs to be implemented. Logistic teams, they will have some information regarding the costing of those activities. Communication, they can also provide some specific feedback and provide some inputs on some communication costs. And in order to have those forecasts accurate, finance team, which is supposed to consolidate the information, will have to get those information from different stakeholders. Um, okay, this is said. Pum, 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 pum. Okay, I think this is good with the reforecasting. Let's move now to the transaction list. Um, so that's the tab where you need to record all the individual expenses that you consider eligible. You must make sure that all the required fields are correctly completed, and expenses, they must follow the structure of the budget provided by ALIPH, and they must be recorded in the correct reporting period as defined in the budget approved by ALIPH. Each transaction which is recorded, they must correspond to a single expense and ideally to a single invoice or main supporting document. We do not accept lump sum in the transaction list. Only actual direct costs can be recorded. For example, if you pay 5 per diems to 5 different people, we will need you to enter and to record 5 separate budget line and not one lump sum in order then to be able to verify the expenditures against the supporting documents and the proof of payments. In the same way, we do not accept advances in the transaction list. Only the final expenditures that have been actually been incurred and properly documented should be reported. Once again, overhead costs shall not be included in the transaction list, since those costs they are automatically calculated. The transaction list is cumulative, which means that once an expense has been reported in a financial report and when that financial report was validated by ALIPH, you should not delete or amend it retroactively. An expense that was reported cannot be modified. If a correction is needed, it should be made in a later report, for example, through a reversal or an adjustment entry. Last point, yes, all the expenditures, they should be entered in a chronological order. starting with January expenditures, for example, then February, then March, and so on. Transaction list guidance. I will pass this slide that you can find in the instruction tab, and I will move directly through one example that I took from a progress report from one grantee. So uh, it is very important to record the progress report number in order to allow the formulas to work properly. Same budget line code is very important to fill in based on the initial budget. And then the budget line description is automatically filled in based on a formula and depending on the budget line code that you included in the column before. Those two information will allow the formulas to automatically populate the financial reports and the figures that are included in the transaction list. Voucher number is uh, is uh, is an internal number coming from your accounting system or coming from your um, follow-up financial tool that will allow us to clearly identify each transaction. Payment method, here you need to indicate if the payment was made in cash, if the payment was made by a bank check or through a wire transfer. Payment date, here you put the date where the payment was made. And then we go to the transaction description. The quality of that description in the transaction list is particularly important for us. The aim is not to write a very long explanation, but to make sure that anyone reading the list of expenditure can immediately understand what the expense relates to. For example, in that case, a description such as payment for ICA staff executive director April 2025 is super clear. Likewise, payment for 40 daily laborers May 2025, lunch and snack for daily worker May 2025. It's not super long, but it provides enough information to quickly understand the nature, to understand the purpose and the timing of the expense. So yeah, we will ask you to pay attention and to try as much as possible to make the description the clearest as possible in order for us to very quickly understand what is the transaction about. Also, then you fill in the name of the supplier or the third party in order as well to verify the expense against the supporting documents. Then we ask you to put the amount that was paid in the currency of the invoice, once again, in order to facilitate the financial review, to indicate the currency which was used for the payments, and then in the next column to convert this amount into US dollar, which is the currency of the grant agreement, together with the exchange rate that was applied. And since the grant agreement is signed in US dollar, this conversion is essential, and the reporting and since the reporting is made in US dollar. Um, I really encourage you to pay a special attention to this tab, since this transaction list is the real foundation of the entire reporting system. And it is also the biggest level of detail that we use when carrying out our financial review and our financial checks. So yes, transaction list is something very important. Few words on the payment request. So in line with the grant agreement, each payment request must be submitted in a PDF format together with a copy of the bank detail of the grantee. We request both documents in order to conduct a double check and to avoid any error in the transfer process. The payment request is included in the file. Uh, it must be completed and signed by the legal representative of the organization. When converting from Excel to PDF, please make sure that all the information remains visible. Sometimes, there are some cells that are cut off at the time of the printing, which sometimes makes the document difficult to use. Uh, and yeah, very quickly, the payment request, of course, it includes some information related to the partner, all the bank details, including information of intermediary bank when relevant, some project information, total amount of the grant agreement, total amount already reported, the sum of the installments already received, the amount requested for the next period, and the currency of the payment, as well as those information, the signature, name of the person who signs, and everything. Okay, time is flying, so I will try to go a little bit more fast and move to ALIPH requirements regarding the financial reporting. Um, so some general principles, partners, they are responsible for demonstrating the proper use of the funds that ALIPH awarded to them. Um, the amounts, the financial reports must be, of course, consistent with the progress report of the activities that are described in the narrative reports. Um, Financial reports cannot be read separately from the program reporting. Both together must tell the same story, and we usually check both together. We mentioned it earlier already, but a budget flexibility of 10% per category is accepted without ALIPH prior approval. Below that threshold, you may proceed with the necessary adjustments. And of course, it is always preferable to inform your project manager in advance. And above 10% return approval from ALIPH is required. All the specific requirements that we're going to talk about, they are detailed in a specific annex of the grant agreement, which is named requirements pertaining to the financial reporting on ALIPH grants. Please refer to it whenever it's needed to ensure that you are compliant with ALIPH requirements. In terms of eligibility of expenditures, uh, before reporting any expenses, you must make sure that those expenditures are eligible. To do that, you need to question yourself with five specific questions. First of all, is the expense reasonable? Is the expense justified? Is the expense necessary for carrying out the project? Can we directly attribute the expense to the project? And is the expense compliant with the principle of sound financial management? If the answer to all these questions is yes, then the expense can, in principle, be considered as eligible. Then, three additional conditions also apply. First, all the expenditures must be supported by an appropriate documentation. Secondly, all those expenditures must and shall have been incurred within the project framework and during the implementation period covered by the grant agreement. And of course, expense that you report shall not be tainted by uncompliant practice. Which criteria lead to the ineligibility of an expenditures? So the first category of ineligible expenditures includes expenditures that are incurred outside the project framework. First, expenses that are incurred outside the grant implementation period won't be considered as eligible. Expenditures that were not pre-approved by ALIPH, which means that expenditures that are not included in the initial budget, they can also be considered as non-eligible. Third point, of course, expenses that were funded twice under two different projects, for example, wouldn't either be considered as eligible. The second category includes expenditures that are affected by non-compliant practices. This may include misappropriation of funds, fraud, corruption, non-compliance practice with procurement procedures, conflict of interest, or any other things that would break the applicable rules would lead to some expenditures to be considered as non-eligible. As discussed already, if the cumulative expenditures in one category significantly excess and exceed the approved budget, which means like more than 10% per category, why, without prior approval, those expenditures may be rejected. All indirect costs like VAT, if the grantee is tax exempted, if VAT can be recovered, you can, of course, you cannot report it in your financial report. Last point, bank fees that are charged by your bank when receiving funds sent by ALIPH are not eligible. We are not talking about bank fees that you may have during the implementation of the project to pay some suppliers or any running cost related to bank fees. Those ones, if they are included in your budget, those they can be considered as eligible. But those initial bank fees related to the transfer of funds from ALIPH, they are not. On the other end, and as we discussed already, accounting fraud, mismanagement of resources that may lead to financial losses or wasting of goods, and any behavior that would conflict with ALIPH Code of Ethics or Grantee's Code of Conduct will be considered as non-eligible as well. Quickly, supporting documentation. As a general principle, the grantee shall be in a position to substantiate all the expenditures that are reported with appropriate supporting documents. The documents that we might be requesting, they may fall into several categories. Documents related to procurement, such as purchase request, quotation, justification of the supplier selection, purchase order, delivery note, etc. Secondly, documents that would record the transaction, such as invoice, payslip, etc. And third, all the documents that prove the execution of the payment. Copy of a bank transfer of check, a cash receipt, what else? Proof of transfer, or any equivalent evidence. Once again, further details are provided in the requirements pertaining to the financial reporting on ALIPH grant documents, where you can find all the supporting documents that we might request from you. One point related to subgranting. All the rules that we discussed previously, they also apply to subgrantees. ALIPH grantees, they remain fully responsible for the acts, for the omission, for the performance, for the compliance of our subgrantees. And which means that if you include some subgrantees in your projects, you need to ensure that your sub-partners, they understand, they comply with ALIPH requirements. So you need to ensure that all those requirements, they are clearly communicated to, understood by, and complied with by any potential subgrantee. Um, Quickly going back to the justification document, we fully understand that in some complicated context, it is not always easy to obtain perfectly standardized supporting documents, and this is especially true in a remote area. So, in those situations, uh, let's try to anticipate the issue. You can inform us in advance in order to maybe discuss together what kind of document can be provided in order to justify. Uh, I think there is always, the possibility maybe to use some internal invoice, internal receipt that you could like prepare in advance and for which suppliers could just fill it by hand and just include in the document the supplier name, supplier phone number, date, description of the transaction, the amount received, and the signature of the supplier. And in some specific context, while it is communicated in advance, those documents can be accepted as a supporting document. Once again, what is very important is to anticipate those issues, to communicate it with us in order to find together solutions. Um, Going to the last part of the discussion, expense verification and audit. For each interim report, ALIPH will select a number of expenditures from the transaction list, and we will request the full supporting documentation for those expenditures from the grantee. The purpose is to verify the accuracy of the reported information, the proper use of the funds, and the eligibility of the expenses. Depending on the nature of the expense, we might ask for, as we discussed previously, some procurement documents, payslip, invoices, proof of payments, proof of delivery of the services, and it can be, for example, transport tickets, boarding pass for flight tickets, proof of attending seminars or technical training, proof of a completion of some work, or any other relevant documents. To make this process easier, I recommend here a few good practices. So in view to those spot check, it's always good to create one folder per expense whenever it's possible, and to gather all the related supporting documents in that folder. Name the folder and the file inside the folder clearly. You can rename and put, for example, invoice, proof of payment, procurement file to make all those documents easier to identify and to understand. When useful, do not hesitate within the documents to highlight the key information, the important figure, to highlight them in a specific color, once again, for us when we make our reviews, to make it easier, to make the review easier and to identify and understand more easily the information and to review them against the transaction list. Um, For the supporting documents that are in local languages other than French or English, those supporting documents, I mean, at least the key information from those documents must be translated into English by the grantee. We do not need a formal approved translation, but we need you to translate the key information. All these good practices, they help us work faster during the verification process, which also make us validating the reports more quickly, which also supports the validation of the financial and the programmatic reports and the release of the next payment installments, which is clearly in everyone's interest. So yeah, we really advise you to use those small tips to make things easier and to kind of smooth and fast the process of the spot check review. In addition to those spot check that are carried out directly by ALIPH, we may also commission an external audit to check and confirm the good delivery of the funded activities as well as the compliance with ALIPH requirements. According to our internal procedures, all projects with a total budget above 400,000 US dollar are subject to an audit. Um, but this doesn't prevent from launching an audit on a smaller project if we consider it is necessary. ALIPH has been working for several years now with BDO UK, which coordinates these audits and whenever possible relies on its very developed local network or on BDO's office in the countries concerned. Those audits, they do not necessarily take place at the end of the projects. It may also happen during the implementation, depending on what is considered as the most appropriate. Um, and I think this is it. Um, okay. Before maybe going to questions, I don't know, Marion, I mean, did you, okay. Is there any pending question or? Okay, so my colleague told me that she already replied all the questions. So, um, as a quick wrap up, the purpose of this session was to give you a global overview of the main budgeting and financial reporting principles at ALIPH. To remind you of a few key requirements and to share some practical advices that can make the financial management of your project easier. I hope this presentation will be useful for the preparation of your future financial reports. Let's say that the main takeaway is simple. A good financial reporting, it depends on three main things. A budget needs to be well understood by all the person involved in the project management. To be well understood and well monitored to ensure a proper budget monitoring, a close collaboration between finance, program, logistic, communication is very, very important. And third, like a clear, a structured and a well anticipated documentation is important. And once again, communication is very important between the different departments to ensure that the financial information is accurate, that the financial information is linked with the projects and the programmatic real and actual implementation of the project. Anticipation is also super super important. Uh, to be able to properly manage, to properly follow up, and to properly monitor your project. And the budget follow up give you a clear and a very detailed overview, a picture of the state of the project. So I would like to thank you for your attention and your participation. Once again, please do not hesitate to contact your project manager if you have any further question, and we will be very happy to support you on all those financial matters, financial questions, so that all the financial reporting process can be as smooth as possible for you. Yeah, and I wish you all an excellent rest of the day. And once again, we remain available for any questions that you may have in the future. We will share the PowerPoint as well as the recording of this session. So you can have it, and you can also share it with any colleague that was not able to attend this session, that you think that might be interested in all those financial discussions. Thank you very much, and yeah, wishing you a really good day. Bye bye.